moment of your time, Commander. Remember that matter on Cloister I mentioned earlier? Well, since we're here and all, thought we might take it up now. Might be hard to believe, but 20 or so odd years ago, I made a mistake. Feels like high time I righted it. Now I'm out and about again. That's where the error occurred, I believe. Others judged it such. I shut it down. Believe I was wrong to do so. For many years now, a former colleague of mine's been in a remote spot called Reasons Pass, on account of my decision. Hardly. Quite the opposite, in fact. She's one of the finest minds to ever grace the Order. Her research was unconventional, surely. She was as well. I think with both, we could right things, get the Order back on its intended path. Do appreciate it, Commander. See that spire? That's the archive right there. The archive. This weather is quite conducive for cooling the archive, and unconducive for me feeling my fingers.
Nothing contrasted to the Order's future. Keep those eyes open, soldiers! Corneal frostbite be damned! Hold. We're presently observing a ceasefire with Auntie's choice, but its duration may be subject to sudden reversal. Would hate for you to get caught in any crossfire. Gathering data on the enemy's movements and behavior. Blizzards raise the degree of difficulty, but that's our problem, not yours. How comforting objective truth can be. Cloister has been a difficult front, and losing the archive, first to the invaders and now to the Protectorate, has made it even more painful. Never mind the rifts. If you're looking for a way to help us out, I recommend heading to Laplace's garden. Follow this path and you can't miss it. Only the finest place on this ice ball. Words aren't sufficient to capture its many quality attributes. Best you observe it yourself. Avalanche collapsed part of the tunnel to the garden, so the safest path is along the cliffside here. Mind your step.
I still think approaching the Order is best. They at least try to base their beliefs on logic. And allying with them could increase our chances of success.
Heard that rift near the archive has destabilized. Must be a sign. The Protectorate's latest action clearly runs counter to the plan. Mark my supposition. It's only a matter of time until we're called upon to take back the archive. Halt! The Oracle Laureate sent ahead to expect someone matching your description. However, he said nothing about admitting questionable allies. Cultist. Agitators are not permitted inside Laplace's garden. Your companion will have to wait outside.
How'd you like to find your insides waiting outside?
I find that an improbable outcome were we to engage in violent conflict. Fine. The consequences be on your head if it proves otherwise. Head on in.
Agent, I have a message for you. Oh, I was not expecting you to be in the company of a cultist.
A cultist and her extremely sharp knife. Shall I introduce you?
No, that won't be necessary. Where was I? Oh, yes, I remember now. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism, overseeing the exemplars, or craftsmen, of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview. Oh no, not at all. The presiding bishop routinely spends time in a sensory deprivation chamber to hone her mental faculties. Of course, she does seem to be logging more hours in the chamber of late, but I'm certain that's all part of the plan. The rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs while the presiding bishop is occupied. Really, it's no reason for concern. Nothing in the garden is. Look around you. I don't see a battlefield. Do you? You're right. My response was too ambiguous. Allow me to be more direct. Those in the garden have enough perspective to remain present and to focus on what matters: science and progress. It may seem like I'm speaking from a position of luxury and privilege, but it is a privilege the Order hopes to share with all one day. Oh, I nearly forgot. Vicar Alden also asked me to direct you to him. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard, at the top of the stairs. May all your problems precede solutions.
This place smells like science. Or maybe that's math.
Agent, over here. Well, this is a welcome confluence of events. Why, without you, Gertie and I wouldn't be alive. And any hope of peace between the Order and Auntie's choice would be over. Dreadful, you know. Positively dreadful. How the peace talks were interrupted. I felt our two delegations were making real progress. While making our escape, we encountered one of the renegades of my order, wounded and dying. He sought to unburden himself, now convinced Wiley's calculations were wrong. He told us all about that terrible DeVries woman's plan, and theorized you must have stopped her. Well, I think that's what he said. There was quite a lot of gurgling. You have mine and Gertie's utmost gratitude for intervening. Had she succeeded in assassinating us, it would have terminated any hope for peace. Officially, not at present. Gertie and I have kept up communication through back channels in the hope that the discussions can be reconvened in due time. It is my earnest belief that this is the optimal course to chart for the Order, and for Arcadia. Though we could certainly use assistance from an outside force like yourself. Life-threatening situations have a way of verifying and validating key constants. Perhaps proof our two groups may still yet work together, if certain conditions were met. To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince them to consider joining forces. Caution is the sign of a rational mind, my friend. Would it help to know that I have the utmost faith in our bishop to convince Auntie of the error of her corporate ways? Well, then, may I ask you to consider the fact that ending the conflict between us would have untold benefits for all Arcadia? The suffering inflicted by this war would be over. For one, having the allied might of their forces at your back when facing down the Protectorate. If that's not sufficient, perhaps some additional incentive could also be provided. And if you might consider an appeal to your better nature, ending the conflict between Auntie's Choice and the Order would have untold benefits for all Arcadia. I predicted a troubling likelihood of you saying that. But a slim chance of you reconsidering later remains. You know where to find me should that occur.
I don't know who you are. But if you thought it wise to bring a cultist into the heart of Order territory, you are deeply foolish. I have not the slightest theory as to how you bypassed our guards. But if it was through violence, be assured, it will be returned exponentially.
Exactly. Though, to be honest, I was thinking of filleting you, but it didn't seem worth getting Artificer all over me.
I shall be the judge of her trustworthiness myself. There is a cultist-centric issue the Order needs resolved. I suspect you are capable of doing such. If you are not, I cannot trust you, and certainly cannot allow you to see Ruth.
If these cultists are suffering the same affliction of being traitorous curs as the others seem to be, then I look forward to killing them.
My task is this. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there.
As much as I'd welcome the bloodshed, it may be wise for me to avoid members of the Dawn until I get their treachery sorted.
I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete. May you act within the equation's confines.
Receive your personalized order prediction yet? I'll admit to a bit of trepidation in regards to opening mine. This is the first Use caution as you progress. There's been reports of first bloods in the area.
Recharge the
Here we've dealt with all of them. Oh, that was a close one.
Soldier, please assess your pain on a variable scale of 1 to 100. Another object, just gone. Nothing should work that way. No matter how often the data is verified and sanctioned, it is difficult to believe.
I concur. I'm given an internal organ or two to understand it. Excuse me, I don't think you have the authorization.
It's fine, but don't get...
All the items we put into the rift, they've been reconstituted.
But in a state far different from their original configuration. Fascinating. Lord damn it. It's reverted to its previous state. Is it a failing of the device or an inevitable effect of the passage of time? Perhaps observe.
Captain. I fear I have a confession to make. I have found a present on Cloister.
Over here! You. I don't know you. But you, I do. It's good to see you, Asa. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it! Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the Exalted Leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Asa.
I do not appreciate your mockery. This is a true betrayal. One that demands to be paid for in blood. Starting with Acolyte Severin here.
No. Sentinels! Target confirmed! This might sting!
That cover spot looks much better! I repudiate all Baffett's commercialists!
Stun weapon ready.
Too much!
Energy capacitor out. Energy.
The Exalted Leader sent Severin as bait, not to mention betraying the Dawn to save her own life. What a coward. The unspeakable things I will do when I find her. Well, once I find her. The Exalted... No, I won't refer to her as such any longer. Dagmar continually moved around for safety. She always initiated contact with me. We do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system. Couldn't have said it better myself. Fortunately, we don't need to worry about hacking their systems. Well, we won't need your expertise. You see, my parents were vigilant. I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve or call to use them. Once we do, they'll become unusable, as they'll set off all sorts of alarms. I did mention all the killing, didn't I?
And how did you sleep?
Decidedly horrible. Is any cold blood dead? No protectorate loudspeakers playing all night.
Seems the Protectorate has been gaining ground since winning control of the Archives.
UNEAC has likely been sorting out their logistic problems.
You are approaching a Protectorate checkpoint. All Protectorate subjects should prepare to be questioned, searched, voice analyzed, and phrenologically printed. Non-subjects should prepare to be...
Proceeding to attack.
Unfriendly company. They're fine.
Capacitor out. Get it while it's energized. Locking them down. Torpification in progress.
Alive.
Maintaining protection.
On the wrist.
Reasons pass is off limits. Unwelcome guests will be ushered from existence promptly and without further ado.
Invest Investigating hostile intentions.
Don't be afraid. I'm all.
Enemy spotted.
Step aside. Blind.
Negative. Recharge incomplete.
Wait, that's not who I think it is it? Marisol? Is that it? Get in here before any more of these hullheads show up.
Marisol, you're here. That is assuming you're not some sort of enigmatic mirage or baleful apparition. I thought I would never see you again. It's been what? 19 years? 20?
21 years, 5 months, 6 days. I've kept up on a few former colleagues.
A few? Right. You retain a different admirer in every port, I'm sure.
Things were left in a...
It was somewhat complicated, even by order standards. Oh, wait, I'm being rude. Forgive my atrophied social graces. I shoot most of my visitors lately. I am Anais Bujold. Welcome to my backwater ramshackle abode.
Seer Anais Bujold.
No one's called me that in, well, you know exactly how long, apparently.
If I'd realized this was a formal visit, I'd have worn my fancy killing clothes.
Charmed, I'm sure. So nice to see Marisol gaining such interesting friends. She's mentioned the little spook show we used to work at, right? I was an analyst in predictive risk assessment. She was, in the field, as it were. Solving the universal equation is the ultimate purpose of every member of the Order. Our express remit was to identify events that could delay or derail that.
Once an issue was identified, I'd be assigned to address it.
At a certain point, I became one of her assignments. I was developing a means of sidestepping much of the presumed requirements to solve the universal equation, using a series of reasoned shortcuts and educated postulations, filling in certain blanks. Trillions. Theoretically, it would hurry the process along so it could be solved in our lifetime, but it was unorthodox, risky if taken too far. I knew the Council would judge it mathematical heresy, so I attempted to work in secret. Eventually, I was discovered, excommunicated, sent here.
Others facing similar charges were often transferred off-planet, then simply disappeared somewhere along the way.
Yes. Fortunately, someone interceded. "3 years I've sent them packing. Corporate leeches, brainwashed drones, whatever this shoddy little bunch is now. Think any had the slightest wit how difficult it would be to pack up 20 years of research, the sheer number of journals and binders, why the Abakai alone? No. If they did, they would realize I am here to stay. Well, not as much nowadays. Rather obvious there's nothing here. It's bereft of any strategic importance. All it offers is the promise of getting shot. Yet still, every now and again, someone gets a wild hair and opts wise to come calling. Suspect it's simple arrogance, really. Someone shoos them off, perhaps a mite rudely, and they take umbrage, get all prideful and huffish, and so it goes. When logic fails, flaws of character abound.
Yes. With ample time to think, I've come to recognize I made an error.
Really? That is, an unprecedented statement for you. But do go ahead, I'm listening.
The last 20 years, the Order needlessly, heedlessly stumbled. First, Antes invaded, then the Protectorate. We lost the Archive. Twice. Had your work continued, I believe we'd have remained closer to our true path. If I had ignored the Council's command. It was a mistake. I miscalculated.
If not for you, I'd be dead right now. And you were right to shut me down. My research was dangerous. A serious threat to the entire universe. I know this for certain now. I've run the numbers. Repeatedly. Had to do all my calculations long form, free of Computronic assistance. Wouldn't advise it, but I've been here on my own for decades, and I remain a reasonable statistician. I calculated what might occur if my work was completed, and there is a troublingly high, statistically significant chance of things ending. Everything ending. I mean, microbes, mantisaurs. Salt tuna might make it, the resistant little buggers. But anything capable of higher-order thinking would be gone. I understand how that sounds, but I have spent years checking and rechecking each and every variable. I assume all my notes and calculations were destroyed years ago.
Anais, I'm afraid it's not that simple. When we shut down your work, it was quarantined, not disposed of. The Order stores all avenues of study deemed dangerous near here at a facility in Winter's Grasp. Unorthodox notion reclusion.
Of all the bureaucratic... No. Poof. Winter's Grasp is crawling with Auntie's choice. A full unit just moved in. Marisol, will you... Can you...
You're asking me to infiltrate a covert installation to destroy something that could likely end the universe. Been years since anyone said something like that to me. Of course.
I might need a little time to ready this place for unwelcome guests. Wouldn't take long.
No, you should stay here. We'll take care of this.
I foresee a 4.7% chance of me complying with that. But fine, no use arguing. Well, this has certainly been nice. Perhaps we'll see each other again sometime. Yes, should be plenty of wonderfully dangerous items in here.
ratcheting up my aggression. Fortificator at ready.
Mobility.
Very numb. Mitigating the threat.
Electrical dampeners. Failing. Plasma tolerances exceeded.
Fireton. What a massacre. We missed it.
Resorting to violence. Commander, throwing energy your way.
Plasma tolerances exceeded.
Patience. Still recharging.
Plasma tolerances exceeded.
Welcome, intrepid consumer, to Auntie's Choice territory. The wonders of winter's grasp lay ahead. So do stay on the road. Hear me?
Hey, your family is depending on you.
Whoa there, go-getter. Say, have you ever considered the benefits of becoming a semi-confidential, unpaid informant for Auntie's Choice? Breathe once for yes. Field Agent Auerbach, proprietary inside acquisition. Our team's presently occupying these premises, but haven't fully brought them to heel, per se. Say, you look like some sort of rogue former member of the Order. Maybe you could tell us what this place is supposed to be.
Me? Part of the Order? Oh, no, dear. I assure you I simply share their love of sweeping cloaks and sciencey-looking accessories. I shall update my wardrobe to avoid such confusion.
Would you happen to be familiar with this campus? We're not entirely clear what it was used for. Far as we can tell, Order's been cleared out for some time. If not, I might politely inquire what exactly you're doing here. We scour rival facilities for hidden recipes, secret formulas, special ingredients, and assorted confidential internal know-how, then develop it into products to bring to market. It's a unique brand of warfare, exclusive to Auntie's Choice, designed to break incredible ingenuities out of cloistered captivity and share them across the galaxy. Information wants to be freed, then priced and shared along understood lines of commodification and distribution. That seemingly unimposing edifice over there? Good luck with that. Lost a few peons in there. Place is full of deleterious traps devised by Order ingenuity. Whatever's stored inside must really be something. At some point, we'll work up the nerve to return. Been scouring all the other buildings clean since. A mess of energy-based barriers. A few seem pretty intent on bisecting the odd dawdler, and prove rather good at it. Oh well, suppose we'll let you in. You might disable a death trap or two with your bodies, then we can step over your cadavers and maybe use them for a shield. Alternately, if you manage to find anything marketable, probably be game to barter for it later. Assuming you don't die, which in that case, we'll probably just retrieve it off your corpse. Either way.
Got some test sprats volunteering to jump into that
The whole place is one big death trap. You want in? Be my guest.
Oh, look who finally decided to appear.
Anais, you're not supposed to be here.
Events prove otherwise, don't they? While you were taking your time arriving, I found a way inside these corporate drones haven't discovered. I've grown rather adept at sneaking in and out of these so-called restricted areas unseen.
Yes, I do as well. Have you found anything?
Peeked around a little. They've conveniently posted signs where various types of dangerous research materials are stored away.
Leave it to the Order to rigorously catalog everything. Well, the aforementioned traps may preclude much waltzing.
Burn-down initiation is listed on the top floor. They destroy materials through immolation there.
The research will be in reinforced containers, so enlisting the facility's own incineration measures would be prudent.
I saw signs for heretical miscellany, time-wasting contrivances, detrimental cognitive enhancers, and prevaricated hypotheses, in addition to cataclysmic ends. Perhaps that means the Order's doing an effective job. Well then, shall we proceed?
Anais, stay here. Please.
I expected such to be your attitude, but I'll have you know that
I am not doubting your abilities. Quite the opposite. I need you to guard this entrance. Anyone appears, come running.
Fine. Go. I uncovered a vent in that office. Standard Order redundancy measure. Let's out past the barrier over there.
I'll hang back a moment while you depower that fence. Wriggling through vents is a young person's game after all. We'll stay here. You find a way to disable these fences.
Research studies prove that disengaging from complex tasks for a time to engage the mind in unrelated challenges has downstream beneficial effects for problem solving. Thus, our department attempted to design a series of stress-reducing educational challenges to facilitate these efforts. After some light early successes, we refined further and received results beyond our wild.
Hello? Someone there? Hello? Help! Please! Thank the law somebody came by. I've been rationing my anti-Cleo Borst rockets, and you know what? Your tongue turns black if you eat them all week. Might concerning, since it's all I have. We was sizing up the place, well, the lobby, when our boss ordered us to find an off switch for them traps, which required us to negotiate through or around said traps to do so. A bunch of the others got killed. I got stuck in here. Boss left with the rest. You think you could get me out somehow? Like, right about now, even?
Hold on. You're not even remotely considering releasing him, are you? A trade secret vulture from Auntie's choice? Free to roam in a building full of Order secrets? Granted, time-wasting contrivances is concerning only to those of us in the Order. But just one of those brain puzzlers put back the solving of the universal equation by months. I certainly wouldn't want Auntie's choice obtaining research related to cataclysmal ends, or monetizing prevaricated hypotheses for that matter. At the end of the day, it's just an Auntie's choice auxiliary dabbler. Hardly a cute little woolly cow or something. Yes, and if you let him free, hundreds, thousands, millions of living, breathing human beings might die. Auntie's choice could access the very research we're here to destroy.
I don't know what's going on, but I don't like the sounds of any of this.
I seriously doubt you're going to convince me we should release him. The stakes are simply too high.
I promise not to, blow up the universe. Or, whatever it is you two are worried about, I guess.
Really ought to listen sometime. Not claiming I'm perfect, but I survived this long.
Can you let me out now, please? Phew. Well, that's a relief. Didn't think I'd ever get free. No thanks to you, ma'am.
Be grateful you're not on fire.
Don't have to tell me twice. This is all the bits I have on me. Not much, but thanks. I'll be out of here as soon as it seems safe.
You're young and spry. You can handle that. We'll stay here. Who left this vent open? Security around here was tighter in my day. Did I read that correctly? Seemed concerning.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we've got company in the form of an Auntie's Choice patrol. Seems their representative wishes to parley.
Don't shoot! Like she said, I'm just here to talk. Believe I've pieced together what you all are up to here. And I am willing to offer a mutually beneficial arrangement. Why, you did indeed. And we are exceedingly grateful for it. Spied the signs on the way up. Our team has a keen interest in much of the research stored here. But cataclysmic ends, which I presume you're here to destroy, don't like the sound of that at all. By all means, burn every last trace. But let us keep the rest, and you'd benefit as well.
The idea of any Order research falling into Auntie's Choice hands is utterly abhorrent to me. I advise a rigorous refusal, as in, no witnesses.
I could hear that, you know. Hoping she's not your main negotiator here. Oh, nothing particularly heinous. We may conceivably utilize some information in the possible formation of potential new products. No harm to you, or anyone.
Can't really predict how Auntie's Choice would market heretical miscellany, but I could easily foresee them rushing detrimental cognitive enhancers to market.
Suppose I'd be reasonably happy with that. Some claim these mental recreations possess untapped commercial potential. I accept. If it's all the same to you, I'll just dawdle here while you complete the process. You know, in case you change your mind.
I'll prep the burners and make sure we have no more visitors. Burners are lit. Control board is activated. Commence the burn down process. Yeah.
Well then, that seems sufficiently carbonized, cinderized. No half measures from the Order. Say what you will about them, but they are nothing if not thorough.
Excellent. Well, a deal's a deal. Meet me downstairs after you're done here, and we'll settle up.
And all Auntie's Choice receives from it all are some distractful diversions. Well, that should decimate Auntie's Choice productivity for the foreseeable future. Nicely done.
My original notes and research are burnt to a crisp. It's over, finally.
I'm sorry, but I saw on the terminal that an external party gained authorization to study it. There's at least one set of copies out there. Give me some time. I'll find them.
What do you need from me?
To go on and live your life. Round other people, not holed up in a dilapidated shack. We'll settle the rest.
You can't possibly expect to leave me behind again without a fight.
Why don't we burn that bridge when we get to it? We still need to get out of here first.
Pleasure doing business with you. I can't wait to monetize this brain puzzle garbage.
Be sure to try it. Should be right engaging. For anyone with a little gray in their upper story.
Maybe I will at that. We deeply appreciate your assistance in further expanding the ever-growing Auntie's Choice proprietary insight catalog. Be seeing you.
Suppose this is goodbye. Made it here before you all right, didn't I? Been interesting to see you. Before I forget, I meant to give you this. Little something I made.
So we're good? You and I. Everything settled?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but good as ever. Don't think I don't see what you're doing with all this, though. You've always been who you are, but you weren't you for decades. A new cause comes up and you take it on immediately. Because saving the universe is easier than confronting yourself. Whoever you are now, whoever you're going to be, just take care. Don't be a stranger.
Goodbye, Anais. Yes, she's every bit as keen-edged, vexatious, and contrary as I remembered her. Appreciate your support. Been a spell since I could rely on anyone like that. Though, suspect that's my own damn fault. Anais snuck something by me again, didn't she? What was that last thing she said? Don't be a stranger. Right. All right. I suppose you remain on my good side. May the plan favor us against long odds. Only we had a device for closing rifts, like the one we found on Praetor.
Hostilities are afoot. To the glorious dawn. Dagmar. The cur. How could she betray me? Her, of all people. The one who recruited me into the Dawn and saved my life. And out of all the cultists, she elevated me to the highest rank in the Dawn. Was her right hand. She was my supervisor. I was just a lowly scientist. She alone could see my heart through the shell the Protectorate encased me in. And when she saw my pain, she looked into my background. It was then that she recruited me. My psychological profile. I saw it once. Recommended sending me to mental refreshment when I was young. Repeatedly. Something about killing sprats. But my parents were able to keep that from happening. The paranoia the Protectorate creates in its subjects crowds everything else out. Even familial love. They were terrified that my behavior would lead people to start looking at them askance. You remember I told you they were vigilant, right? They could have helped me in numerous ways, ways lesser subjects' parents couldn't. But they did nothing. Just locked me away until I learned to hide my feelings. My existence was always bleak, joyless, without purpose. Just like every other subject's. Dagmar was the first friend I'd had since I was a young child. She gave me a life. A family. Or so I thought. I don't believe I have any trust left for anyone. Including you.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultist at Newton quite the interruption to my focus. Now, how might we be of use to one another?
You should have seen the entrails fly. It was glorious.
I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. But you may also take this. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component from it. The web is an order-crafted network of information collection satellites. Our would-be Protectorate overlords squandered them as glorified surveillance devices. We actually implanted a back door in the web to bring it back under our control, should a circumstance like this arise. But we did not foresee certain Protectorate modifications. But let's not speak of that. Find a way past the Protectorate at the crash site, collect the data, and return it here. Violence is likely, but perhaps you'll find an alternative. Only theoretically. The Protectorate guarding the site will be anything but welcoming. You'd likely need to find something, or someone, to wrest their attention away from you. I cannot say how that might be accomplished, unfortunately. Some of our scholars find answers to their solutions at the CAF integration point. Perhaps you might do the same. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here. May the odds prevail against your bloody demise.
Central Control is open to no visitors. Turn around. Best turn around. Central Control isn't... Wait. Orbit around? What are you doing here? I've heard a great deal regarding your exploits within the Protectorate. And it is all that prevents me from summoning the Guard. I've strict orders to arrest you on sight.
I've no desire to slay you, but if you seek to prevent me from pursuing my duties, I will have no other choice.
Arbiter Rao did not report to the Consul's summons. Consequently, he is wanted for questioning. It is only our difference in rank that stays my hand from attempting arrest. Very well. I shall not sound the alarm. But you are still not permitted to enter this facility either through this entry or any side route. I shall be watching.
Commander, let us speak privately on our next course of action. I did not care for that exchange at all. The idea that the Consul would stymie me individually is rather disturbing. Regardless, we do have alternate means of ingress. I seem to recall a number of creatures bypassing the left fence through some upper path we were never able to find. There's also the prisoner entrance on the right. If you're sufficiently dexterous, you may be able to bypass the safeguards to get us in.
Search completed in a logical and timely manner.
Prudence dictates imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry.
Smells like paint and agitated dust. Renovations, I surmise.
Hostile 9. Malefactor ahead.
Let the paradigm worry about tomorrow.
That elevator over there goes to the Supreme Arbiter's old office. I hope the technicians have kept it in working order. I believe what we need is on that terminal. I'll see if I can find my way in. The terminal's locked, which is no surprise. See if you can find some method to bypass its passcode. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. I think this may unlock the terminal, but the toggle mechanism appears compromised. I shall hold it. You attempt to gain access to the machine. You must finish reading through that terminal. The elevator's been summoned from below. Someone's coming up!
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. Yet my dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes? How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. Actually, it wasn't. Perhaps at first, until I discerned her true intentions. My mentor hated the Consul and was deeply devoted to the Sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the Consul into a trap.
That seems like a lot of work to go through just to flatten someone's head with one of those giant hammers.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. It's not obvious to me. You didn't know her. Wait, do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough.
It's logical. The Sentinels have all but taken over central control. It stands to reason the few Arbiters still trained here would only be Sentinels in armored regalia.
I cannot deny that central control has changed, but... What am I saying? I need not defend myself from the likes of you.
Enough! This has been an unpleasant day and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless, and accosting a higher-ranked Arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and must meet my judgment.
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. That question would have been easier prior to our traveling together. I've spared others at your behest, after all. I shall speak plainly. I would rather spare her, as her devotion to justice seems to match my own. But duty dictates I answer her accusations earnestly. As I have not done wrong, her accusations are slander, and therefore must be punished. Hardly. She could not remind me of myself, for were I in her place, I would know better than to accost my superiors. I have been taught to uphold justice by any means necessary. The junior arbiter is wrongfully accusing me, which stands in the way of my upholding justice. Her accusations are grave enough to be answered with violence. But I understand why she is making them. And her perspective, though skewed, should not merit death. I don't like thinking thus. It toes the line of traitorism. But the alternative is the judgment of one I believe to be innocent. Such an action cannot transpire.
What is this insanity? I would never imagine an Arbiter balking from their chosen course. I had hoped Arbiter Rao would come to his senses, but obviously to no avail. I may not wish to judge him. I may not understand what has come over him. It is of no consequence. His crimes against the Protectorate are all that matters.
The ex-Protectorate subject there had been mentally refreshed. Killing him would have accomplished nothing, despite his crimes, as he was merely a pawn to someone else.
That's even worse than I thought. You chose not to do your duty, and expect telling me so would soften my decision to judge you?
The Supreme Arbiter taught me to follow my own sense of justice. And I have. Use your mind. Think about what I did. What you intend to do. Is this moral? Is this right?
But it is of no consequence. I must... Architect's mercy. I'm just not sure.
We don't know that for certain, but to an onlooker, without our knowledge, it could seem that way. And such presumed traitorousness would be very confusing.
Even the Supreme Arbiter has struggled with this? That doesn't seem possible. But I suppose there's no way to ask her now. I shall trust your words. Consider my hand stayed. I can see that judging Tristan would only rob the Protectorate of another of its servants. It seems I must reflect on this matter.
It would appear we're in agreement. Neither of us shall raise a hand against the other. I'm pleased.
Ever known an arbiter to lose their taste for blood? That's disappointing.
So, what course of action do we take now?
I shall have a better idea of wisdom to impart once I've gotten to the bottom of everything. I fear you're not the only one reeling, Junior Arbiter.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're still confused once everything calms, perhaps you might seek me out. Together, I wonder if things might not seem so... strange.
The dilemmas facing us are likely far more than two arbiters can decipher alone, unfortunately. But I suppose I'll keep that in mind. Glory to the Protectorate, Junior Arbiter.
Right. Glory to the Protectorate.
I'm pleased we were able to resolve that altercation peaceably. Robbing Arcadia of an enthusiastic recruit would have given me little joy.
You say that, but I've seen the way you smile when you kill... dispense justice. I'd say she got lucky. Or you're turning soft.
You know, I'd even venture to say she reminded me just a little of myself as a lad. All this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. Agreed. I'm not sure of his whereabouts since last we encountered him. I'll send him a message. With luck, we'll hear from him before long.
So, Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel, with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity.
There? If you wish to feel better, try thinking of wanton murder.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal. One which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
Well, as a Helia Leitinger, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you've made it this far. In addition to your wonderful thirst for wanton violence, you were always bright, though still somehow too thoroughly deluded to apprehend the truth. But then again, you never really wanted to, did you? Yes, well, can it truly even be considered betrayal if it was always lies? And Aza's willful ignorance made her the perfect candidate when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest.
What are you talking about? There were cultists before me!
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak.
You... How dare you! You shall pay dearly for daring to speak thus, and the Consul shall pay triple!
So what we found in the Rift Lab was true. Everything Dagmar told me was lies. Our cause isn't righteous.
And there it is. I almost felt sorry for you, Azahelia. You were so pathetic. So willing to believe specious arguments backed with only the flimsiest of proofs. Ah, well, such is life. But your usefulness is not yet at an end. Your death will put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Aza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it. I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively. What, you suddenly take issue with my methods? I can think of no reason to curtail the pleasure of my revenge. Dagmar must die. Violently. Her betrayal warrants no other response. I know of no other way to act.
Sentinels, the traitor Azahelia Leitinger is in the compound. She is to be terminated forthwith. You're still at large. All guards loyal to the Protectorate converge on my position at once.
Village.
In our...
Revelation.
The old quarters are... They have all been removed. I hardly recognize this place.
Something's happening to Tristan. He's acting like a human being.
I'm fine. Some errant dust merely found its way into my eye.
Aggressor at hand.
All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign.
Huh?
Ready to dispense judgment!
Dagmar would never let herself be cornered. She's sure to have an escape route. We should find it.
You're still alive! No, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. Well, I'm waiting to hear your ineffectual arguments as to why you should be spared. And then I'll kill you. You can start by telling me why. Why'd you do it, and why me?
Why? I'm a loyal subject to the true Protectorate. What other reason is there? When the Consul tasked me to help save the colony, I did not even think to ask why. And you were an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside. But then you went berserk. I never could have imagined how you'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people. Which wrong people didn't she kill? We were supposed to work through intimidation and the perceived threat to our system. Sure, maybe kill some subjects, those that could possibly become threats to the Protectorate, but not the dozens she slaughtered. For Matriarch's sake, she was killing vigilance. And then she started asking questions that would have led to her discovering the truth. She had to die before the Consul decided to cut the link between Azza, him, and the Dawn. Me.
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways. She's dead. As am I. Our enthusiasm got the better of us. She should have suffered more. It was too quick a death for one who betrayed not only me, but the whole of the Dawn. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future. I can send out a general message from here, informing the cells that the previous Exalted Leader has betrayed us and has been dealt with, and that I am now in charge. I suspect some will simply jump into the closest rift. And to be perfectly candid, I'm hoping there are more than a few that refuse to acknowledge their new leader. Enough to keep my knife skills up at least. It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me.
Prudence dictates it is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times.
Have an update about that personal matter. You know, the one that might, end the universe. The other universe-ending thing. Back at Winter's Grasp, I found someone was continuing Anais, Cerebru's research. Believe I have a lead on their identity. I wholly agree. I pieced together information from earlier leading to Golden Ridge on Dorado. Oddly enough, to the anchor hold at Matriarch's Mercy Monastery. I had Val set the location on our map. I recognize we're juggling multiple crises, but I'd suggest we journey there sooner than later. May the plan favor us against long odds.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Wish.
Since the schism, the Protectorate have rewritten history to exclude our teachings.
Yeah!
Oh, I didn't expect us to wander into the scene of a murder, but somehow I'm not entirely surprised. Anomalous events have a way of spreading, multiplying. We should find a way inside. There might be clues to what happened, and where Anais's research is now. They should have been sealed in that room to focus on their studies uninterrupted. No one in or out. I'd suspect the missing anchorite knows something, at least. We should ask her. Might be some signs in there of where she went. The terminal at Winter's Grasp said Anais' work was sent here. There might be signs of that, or where the missing anchorite got off to. We should keep looking. There may be more to learn here. I've had a chance to look around. You seem like you've done a thorough sweep. We should discuss what we've uncovered. Poor thing. Blunt force trauma to the occipital lobe, I believe. Possible signs of an altercation. Might have been an accident. Might not have been. Hard to say with just a superficial glance. At the very least, her cloister mate Anchoress Brunn has some explaining to do. A disputation of current order methodology focuses mainly on our presiding bishop, but saves ample room for the laureate council and previous regime as well. I believe I got the gist by efficiently skimming. The general concern is that the order has lost its way. My old department is repeatedly mentioned in a favorable light. Anais' work is regarded highly. I saw that. I believe it was Anchoress Chow's diary. Spoke about regular visits by an exemplar Southworth, who requested access to Anais' work. Chow seemed worried they were conspiring about something. That they'd mentioned an old order research station. That old research facility seems the most likely spot to look next. I know the coordinates on Eden, placed by the name of Point Obviation. I don't know what happened to Anchoress Chow, but leaving a body behind is suspicious, and the disputation reads like a call to arms for any fringe thinkers in the Order. There's no destroying the copies at this point, I'm afraid. We're past that. The research is out there. We need a way to keep anyone from taking it up further in the future. If we go in guns blazing from here, it will only continue. We need a plan to annihilate the idea. I've seen it happen. Things can take on a life of their own at a certain point. The more overt the response, the more unexpected the outcomes. We developed tactics at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection to minimize unforeseeable consequences. We can discuss once we see the situation on the ground. Yes, time to seek out Anchoress Brunn.
Commander, I have news. I finally heard back from Virgil. His message was suitably vague. I suspect he fears the Consul's eyes scanning his message, but I believe it to refer to the Arbiter training facility located on Paradise Island. Parts of the location can only be accessed by Arbiters. He likely did so to avoid the Consul's spies. There's a certain hominess to it, inasmuch as we have any particular home. Bringing our findings to Virgil will hopefully allow us to deduce something from all that we found. I only hope it dispels some of the muddiness we've encountered so far. Further complications would be most disagreeable.